They say winning ain't everything. Well, we don't have them type conversations over here, man. Had that conversation with the losers. We trying to win at everything we do. Even in the loss, we don't see defeat. We see a lesson learned. Straight up. Look, I came into this world in 1978. The doc looked me in my face and knew I was something great. 45, 42 Prescott, that's where I'm from. Grew up in the slums around dope dealers and bums. As humble as I was, I adapted to my habitat. In my own lane though, far from where they crashing at. Dumb bar graduate, the game I'd have mastered it. Served in the Navy, look, y'all don't know the half of it. Pops passed in 01, moms passed last year. I know they up in heaven smiling down, crying mad tears, cause they son making it. No telling where I'm taking it. My city been cursed, but I feel that I'm breaking it. Coached at Wayne High in 15 in one state. Seen the fork in the road and went straight. I know what I'm worth. I'm OG King CURT, Brooklyn Nets gaming crew legend. Let's work.
Hey, this is OG King CURT, your host of the OG 2 Cents podcast. I want to thank each and every one of you who continue to tune in each and every week. We truly appreciate it. Make sure that you give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts. Hit that subscribe button, like, comment, share it. We definitely appreciate that. Let's continue to stand up against any forms of social injustice and racism, and also hashtag see more love the Zenni way. And this episode is brought to you by Zenni Blocks. Make sure to armor your eyes with Zenni Blocks virtual clear blue blockers. It's important to protect your eyes from the harmful blue light from your digital screens, so you'll have less eye strain, and that makes for better sleep and performance. Check them out at zenni.com/gaming or follow them at Zenni Gaming on Twitter and Instagram. This episode 81, the UPA World Championships. The UPA stands for Unified Pro-Am Association. It's headed by none other than WR CEO Ev. He's also the CEO of UPA as well. It's ran under the UPA, the WR League, the MPBA League, and the ADBA League. Well ran, just a great organization. Is bringing the community together for a lot of things. They actually hosted an event in Dallas, Texas. This UPA World Championships was hosted in Las Vegas at the HyperX Arena at the Luxor. Just overall great event. It's a big chance for a lot of people to meet for the first time in a long time, considering COVID and everything like that. The 50K tournament on the line. Of course, it'll only be one winner. We had No Look, who was, boasted a studded 2K League roster with Bash and PG, Shifty Kai at shooting guard, TB at lock, you had Crazy at power forward, and then you had Slaughter at center. So just shout out to those guys for taking home the championship. But overall, there's a lot of talent, a lot of prospects in the building, a lot of GMs and coaches in attendance. So, you had Famous, you had Nick, you had Comp, you had P. Cross, you had Jonah, of course, myself, LT, Rico, Black Frank White, the community, NBA 2K League community ambassador, or global community ambassador. And then other, Brad stopped in for a hot second, league ops for the NBA 2K League, but just a great event. And, the Lab TV was in the building. He's been making a lot of things happen for the community, well involved in UPA as well. So just shout out to everybody who showed up. This episode, I actually had a chance to sit down and interview a lot of people that tuned in for the UPA event. I interviewed Ev, interviewed Bigg West, interviewed Ye, interviewed India, who hosted, commentated the event. So just a good old overall episode where I got a chance to sit down and chop it up with them and get their thoughts on the UPA. So make sure you check it out. Hey, so I'm sitting here with Ev, who is the CEO of the WR League and also the CEO of UPA. Ev, great things you've been doing. You had not too long ago, you had the championships in Dallas, and then recently you had the UPA World Championships in Vegas. Man, I tell you, I literally in Vegas probably cried on the inside because I know we done came a long way, and this was some stuff that literally we couldn't imagine if you go all the way back to 2014, 2015. So I just want you to, talk about the events, but then just also talk about the feeling of we once talked about this months ago, and then you brought it to life.
The feeling is amazing. It's really amazing. Even from the inception of UPA, we all got together and everything. It was just a thought, just an idea. What we wanted. It was basically what we wanted to do. We also wanted to be able to, be able to protect the community and things like that. But as far as live events, we really did. I mean, that wasn't the primary focus. But then once we got it going with Dallas, I saw something. It was just like, this is it right here. This is how, we protect the community. This is how, we take things to the next level and show everyone that the community is just not full of amateurs, that, that we're actually making things happen. And Dallas was just a taste of it. And then if everyone, if they saw Dallas, which was ran professionally and production was great, and then the being there was actually great as well. But then going from Dallas to Vegas, and that was even crazier. Vegas, I learned a lot from Vegas. The team overall, we learned a lot from Dallas. I mean, so Dallas, like everyone was playing in just regular t-shirts and regular street clothing. I mean, at that time, it didn't matter. But then once, we transitioned to buying jerseys and everything like that, and to see the outcome of having every single team with jerseys, everybody looking professional, and then they're coming on the broadcast with their team jerseys, with their branding and everything like that. It was just amazing, man. And, to see things like that come to fruition after just having a thought of just trying to build the community up, it's amazing.
No, without a doubt, man. And, you had 2K League GMs come out, just offhand, you had Jonah from Magic Gaming, you had P. Cross from Wizards District Gaming, you had the community ambassador, Black Frank White, you had Famous from Heat Check Gaming, Nick from T-Wolves Gaming, myself, LT, who's also a part of the UPA staff. You have Rico out there, Comp out there, like, everybody from the community. It was just one big old party. And what else better place to do it right there in Vegas? Unfortunately, the weather was a little chilly, but outside of that, competition was great. The jerseys was definitely a great touch. What's next? Vegas, really it blew everybody away. I know it's gonna be tweaked up a little bit, but outside of that, what you got cooking up next?
Man, I mean, honestly, I don't really want to say. I know some guys have seen some things on the timeline, but we at the end of the day, we have to make sure everything's checked out. We got to make sure we have the sponsors ready. We got to make sure we have a venue that's available, and we got to make sure we have time slots that doesn't interfere with any other, with anything else. So, what I can say is what's next is going to be bigger. It's going to be bigger. It's going to be better. Every event is a learning opportunity. Vegas, what might have seemed like it went well, there's still some things to be learned. So, the next one, this one's 50,000. We're going to go for bigger. It could be 75,000. It could be 100,000. It could be more. But once again, we just gotta secure those sponsors and make sure that everything's taken care of to where that we can actually pay for the venue, pay for the prize pool, and then also be able to take care of the people that's working for us as well. So, but the next one is going to happen this summer for sure. So we're looking around maybe end of the summer before 2K23, but it's going to happen for sure. As of right now, I can't say the prize pool because we have nothing set in stone. We're still in discussions right now, and the venue, we're also in discussions with venues right now. So, but it's going to be more, and it's going to be a better event. Hopefully, we can have more teams. Hopefully, we can crown some new winners. Also, I'm hoping to see some new guys make some names during post draft. So it's going to be bigger and better, but it's going to, it's still going to be the same quality that we all saw in Vegas.
Okay, when you talk about staff, just for a second, talk about the UPA and the leagues that are involved, and then also who's on the staff, UPA.
Okay. Let's see. So you have WR, you have NPBA, and then you have ADBA. As far as WR goes, we have myself, we have Lux, we have Prophecy. He goes by his name used to be Prophecy, was Ryan. We have Pat, we have Perry, we have YP. It's a lot of guys. We have Coach J2K, he does production. We have a couple more production guys. We have graphics. Of course, we usually get some eyeball guys to come aboard for graphics. As far as NPBA goes, I'm not quite sure who all does their work, for them, but they all help out with all UPA activities. And the same goes with ADBA. I know they have Terry and Pre, but they have other guys which I'm not, I don't have much contact with, because I typically oversee my guys, and then my guys, help them with whatever's needed on their end.
Got you. Well, man, I'm on this episode, I'm probably going to, try to get as many interviews from people that attended the event and just get their feedback, everything. For the most part, I know a lot of people thought it was a great event, and they'll be tweaked in the areas that people need to see fit, and it just get bigger and better from there. I myself definitely, we're going to be in talks and hopefully creating some magic on the East Coast, and see what we can do together. But man, just hats off to you and the WR staff and just the UPA staff in general for putting on a good event. Got my UPA t-shirt. Matter of fact, got my mug.
That was a nice touch.
Then we got the bag. Which is, it comes in handy for me. I need all kind of, I need everything. I got something for everything. So I keep a lot of little miscellaneous stuff like that, and I just throw it in my Nest GC backpack. But Ev, thank you for coming on, talking about it. I expect nothing better than a well-ran event, representing the community well. I knew once most of us went on to the league that it was in good hands. And, I'm going to be an influencer for the UPA. Make sure it's always on my channels. Make sure I'm supporting it in each and every way. So just keep doing what you're doing, Ev, and appreciate you coming on for a hot second to talk about it.
Oh, yeah, for sure, Kurt. Appreciate you for having me, man. And most definitely be on the lookout for the next event. It's gonna be amazing. So, just definitely look out for it.
I got with me right now none other than Bigg West. He's the GM for Hornets Venom GT, the NBA 2K League. Wes, how you doing, bro?
Man, I'm doing just fine, man. As they would say in our culture, blessed and highly favored.
Hey, I just want to talk to you. I mean, not too long ago, we was chilling in Vegas, watching some good competition, watching a well-ran event by UPA, man. So I just want you to just give your overall thoughts and feelings about what went down in Vegas.
Well, you know what? First of all, kudos to the UPA, man. They kind of give us a glimpse of what the future can hold for the amateur scene for sure, man. And it's looking very bright. The production was well set up. I mean, top of the line venue. And I think for the most part, definitely well ran and organized event. And it had no other expectations but that coming from those group of guys who's like, obviously known for a while, very serious, very professional, and, very forward thinking kind of guys. I think for the players, I think it was awesome for them to kind of get that live experience, in that setting, like especially right before draft interviews and right before the draft. And, especially with the way the league is going this year, I think it's huge because everybody knows if you're going to win money this year in the league, you got to do it live and in person, you know what I'm saying, on that stage, you know, all the stakes. So any money we won this year got to be on the stage. And it was very awesome to see like some of them guys stand up to the moment. And got to see some really great personalities. I know this, even like me, you've been in the same similar draft situation. Like we probably look at a lot of the similar guys because where we at in the position, and really to see a lot of them there and see like their performances and like how they, you know, rise to that moment, man, it's like pretty refreshing. You know what I'm saying? You're like, man, you know what? It might not be so bad down here after all. For sure, though. Like I said, other than that, I enjoyed myself, man. I think it, like I said, A1 production, A1 event, and we got to see some great guys put on a great show.
Yeah, I was talking to Ev, and you know, we all go way back. I mean, especially me and you and, you know, LT and different things like that. We didn't think nowhere. First of all, when we first started back in 2014, 15, we never saw the 2K League coming. So boom, that, you know, that was one surprise. And then the next thing is like looking at the amateur scene, you got the UPA, you know, taking over, running a lot of different events. I mean, live venues and everything in that nature. And we didn't see that coming either. So I told Ev, like, you know, I almost was in tears on the inside, because it's like one of those things where, like, man, I mean, people don't know like everything that we went to try to provide the best, you know, form of organization within the community and things like that, to make a lot of things happen and it create a platform for people to showcase their talent. So it just was a beautiful thing. And like Ye said, you know, it's been a lot of different things going on, considering, you know, COVID. We haven't been able to be around each other. So just to be able to be at a venue where we all could actually, you know, dap it up and talk to one another and laugh and joke was just great, man.
You know what? I agree with you 100% on that. Like, you never foreseen that coming. But, you know, like, I would be remiss, like I said, I didn't always think it would be that one day. Now, would it ever get there? I think while we truly in the mix, I didn't think it would be a thing, but like to see it get there, and like we still kind of, you know, in the mix a little bit, and, you know, we could see it come to fruition, kind of attend some of the first event. I'm you know what I'm saying? I think when I seen, like, and I don't want to like plug nobody, I think seeing the SSWI Texas starting to kind of put on the small event that they did, I was just like, oh man, you know what? It can happen, you know what I mean? But to see UPA got to take it to the next stratosphere, it's like, oh man, we really have arrived. So it's only imagine like what the future holds in those settings with those amateur events and stuff like that, and maybe the collaborations that can come amongst the UPA and the NBA 2K. It's just like the possibilities are endless, and I think it's gonna bring the excitement back to the comp pro-am scene, and maybe the 3v3 scene now with that being a play, and just bring it back and kind of bring some of the, you know, the excitement back. This is gonna be the new $250,000 tournaments and things like that. Maybe potentially do even more in person. So I'm just excited to still kind of be in the fold of things, and we still get to go enjoy it, like you said. And then on top of that, not to mention that we was able to really do it safely. You know what I'm saying too? Like, you know, with COVID and everything, like, I mean, maybe few people might have said they caught it afterwards, but the majority of people, you know, man, listen, go down there and have a really great time, embrace and enjoy one another, and still come home like relatively safely throughout the event. That was awesome. And I hopefully open the league eyes up to the possibilities of, like, you know, of us truly getting back together in person and stuff, and confident that we can do it safely.
No, I'm with you. I mean, and I think that's the only way it's going to be. And I know, I mean, big shout out to SSWI and Texas Star and all that. I mean, you know, they were one of the first groups to do a live event. And I think really what the UPA is really showing everybody is what happens when everybody can come together for the same common goal of the community. I mean, for so many years, a lot of people thought we was in competition with the WR, and there was no such thing. Like, I mean, we actually used to sit and laugh about it, and we still do, like, from time to time when we talk about it. I mean, it was never anything. I mean, they was doing their thing. I actually talked to him and said that, what if we would have just kept running Xbox and they would have kept running PlayStation and we just came together and formed the inevitable, which now is the UPA. So, and they, like Ev said, better late than never, and that's truly what they're showing, man. So, Bigg West, I mean, I'm glad you came on, talk about your experience at UPA. I'm sure here soon coming up, we got the draft and everything like that. And I'll be seeing you before no time, man. So I thank you for coming on the pod, bro.
Hey man, I'm thankful that you asked me to be on here first of all. So thank you for that. When the OG hit you, man, you listen, you show up, you know what I'm saying? OG text me, like what you doing? I'm like, yo, I'm for you, I'm free, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm good, you know what I'm saying? So you hit me, I show up, man. So definitely appreciate you always thinking about me, looking out for me, and provide me a platform, your amazing podcast that just come and speak and kind of get my face seen. So I appreciate you always. Like I say, you text, man, I pick up, man. You my brother, love you. And the community, man, I'm so happy for us as a community. Let's keep pushing it forward. We try to push out all negative things and just spread positivity. And we just want to push forward as a community because, like, at the end of the day, I can speak for pretty much everybody. Like, what we do is for y'all. You know what I'm saying? It's for the bigger picture. Like, it's for you guys to have another platform to compete, to earn money for your families and things like that. So I'm excited to see where it goes.
No, without a doubt. And I love you back, Wes.
Oh, yeah.
Here right now, I got Eric Ward, aka Yeynotgaming, former NBA 2K League champion. Also the owner of Fyve Wyde. We're gonna talk about that. But the reason why I brought him on was to talk about none other than the UPA World Championships. Ye out in Vegas, got to see a lot going on. Definitely plays a big part in what you've been doing in the community. Talk about your experience at the UPA World Championships.
Man, it was great to see everybody, especially with the 2K League going remote for the last couple of seasons, and being able to see familiar faces for one, guys you kind of grow up in the community, show their face for the first time was always a treat, and see good competition at the same time, especially with a good venue that they had there at the HyperX studio over there at the Luxor in Las Vegas. And seeing all those competitive games going on at the same time, see guys on the stage and on the side, so on the floor level, kind of go at it. It really brought back the stage vibes for the league too, and to see this is the ground level where these guys are on the grassroots teams, they're playing on their pro-am teams, their friends, and they're talking trash and they're hugging up after and maybe sharing a drink with each other, having a beer. And that's what the whole community is about. And it was good to see everybody come together for that.
Nah, no doubt. I mean, I always said that the persona a lot of people put online is way different when you meet in person. And personally, I don't have no problem with that. I mean, it happens from time to time with everybody. I mean, that's kind of like the world that we live in with it being so social media driven. I talked to Ev. It was kind of funny because we just kind of reminisced for a hot second, going all the way back into 2015 when both our leagues was getting started, and never did we imagine an event of that magnitude. I mean, you coming from the competitive scene, playing in the pro levels, and then witnessing now we've had a 15K tournament, 50K tournament, probably only going to get bigger. Talk about your thoughts on how the community has grown over the years.
You definitely see a lot more involvement now that it's in person. With the prize pot starting to get bigger and bigger, you're going to see people come far and wide. Now, I could see down the road if it gets to 100K or gets to 1 million, so and now it becomes international where guys are flying in with passports from anywhere from the Philippines or Puerto Rico just to come and show out. The one put their face to the name that we've seen on Twitter and show that they can hoop on land against an Americans group that we like to pride ourselves on being really good at the game, but these guys can hoop too. But if they come over and they're playing for $1 million, that's just going to build our esport up. And we're starting to compete with those other esports like Fortnite or Call of Duty. And it's going to also give a lot of coaches and GMs a good perspective on how these guys perform on the stage. So once you have this element in play, whether it's post-draft or pre-draft, where guys can play in person, it can build a name for themselves, build a name for their teams, and showcase their skill on the land side of things. That way, it builds their stock going into the 2K League. So I'm super excited to where we can go from here. I'm hearing big talks from Lab on Twitter, so we'll see what happens next.
Okay, now it's fun. Oddly enough, we talk about an event going on where GMs and coaches can see the players play live and things of that nature, but also for you that you scout throughout the community. You got Fyve Wyde going on, of course triggering some people here and there, but isn't that what that's what lists were meant to do? So talk about Fyve Wyde, how you came up with the name. What is it?
I came up with the name. It was one of the things that Barry used to always say, and I thought it was really catchy. So I was kind of ran with it. I told him ahead of time. I was like, I'm going to take Fyve Wyde and use it because it sounds cool. What it is just really just scouting a lot of talent that we have that's outside of the 2K League, along with some 2K League content too as well. Bring some exposure to the guys who are trying to make a case for themselves and their teams. Whether it be anything from a guy we don't know about who just started playing point guard like Capo, we just found on the stage here in Las Vegas, going to have a segment on him, and to the guy we know the most about, like DJ, the guy who's one of the best players going into the draft. Just so the one from the players, for the people looking in who don't know much about the 2K community, can kind of catch up to speed, and for the guys to kind of know where they stand amongst their peers.
Okay, yeah, well, good, man. Me and you had a conversation about Fyve Wyde, some big things I expect to see you do from that. Yay, you've been great for the community, great for the league and everything, man. Just an overall cool brother. I definitely enjoyed chopping it up with you the time in Vegas. So just keep doing what you're doing, and definitely look forward to having you back on the show again, and also just seeing you in person as things unfold in the NBA 2K League.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. Definitely good words of advice you gave me, man. It was great talking with you.
All right, talk to you soon, yeah.
All right, man.
Coming at you now, I got Made in India. He's been on air in the NBA 2K League in season 4. Actually, it's been on the podcast before. I knew he was going to be something special, but none other than he was, one of the casters for the UPA World Championship. So, India, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. This reminds me of the first time we did the podcast. Like you said, it's a nice full circle of where we were and where we are now, and especially with the UPA World Championship that's just happened. It's been a great journey so far. Yeah,
man. Well, I told you I believed in you from the jump. And,
you did.
I'm not the signal caller or anything like that, but I think I know talent here and there when I see it, and you definitely been doing a great job, man. But
I appreciate it.
Yeah, no doubt. Let's talk about the UPA World Championships, man. I constantly commended you and Harris going nonstop. I've never seen that much 2K pro-am in my life going on all at the same time. But just talk about your experience in Vegas at the UPA event.
So there's my experience was kind of like two different hats, right? So like one was as a caster, and it was the nerves of like, that is my first in-person broadcast where I'm one of the main broadcasters, right? I've been in Dallas, but I did sideline. I did a preview show. I wasn't on for 10 hours a day for 2 days. So that the nerves were kind of kicking in there, but being a fan made it that much easier, because you're right. Like I didn't watch that much 2K, in terms of UPA together all that time. And it was just crazy because being that close to the stage, it was just a great atmosphere to see not just the league players, which we've seen in Dallas, but then also the amateurs and the wannabe league players. And that whole atmosphere was just electric, you know, because you had the stage to my right that was already, you know, you had Fakey banging the desk, and, you know, Ev was definitely going to find him on the spot. But then in front of me, you had a crowd of people surrounded with the other side games that you had. So it was just like, no matter where you looked, it was action packed. Something was happening. Someone was moving on. Someone was going home. So it was just a great, great atmosphere for anyone related to the 2K community. Forget the league, but just anything 2K related, player, fans, coaches, whatever. You had it all. You had a whole buffet of whatever you wanted.
No, definitely. And, you know, I didn't know like what to expect when I got there. I got in on Saturday morning, went to the hotel, took a shower, got dressed, and headed over to the venue. Now, when I walk in there, it's amazing because I remember the setup from the last time we were there. I think it was season 2. And walk in, I looked to my right, and it's like loaded. Like, I mean, people was everywhere. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games going on the floor, and then you got the main stage. I was like, damn. Like, I never seen nothing like it. I mean, because even you know, in the league, like it's just one stage, you know, and like differently, like in Dallas, they had 2 stages going on.
Right.
And I thought that was mayhem, but 5 games going on at the same time on the floor was just it was incredible. I mean, of course, you know, it's 2K. A lot of people can bring up, you know, issues, you know, different things like that. But I'm a big firm believer in fighting through adversity and situations, and, you know, you just adapt and overcome. That's what I'd say. But it was definitely a breath of fresh air when I looked to my right and I seen you and Harris like going in nonstop. I actually had a joke because Champ had actually ran out of gas, you know, towards the end of the event, and I'm like, well, hell, India and Harris, like, they sound fresh.
Yeah. It was funny because we were talking to Champ in Vegas afterwards, and they're like, great job. And I'm like, why are you sounding like that right now? You know what I mean? Like, what? Like, I get that you were Ric Flairing over there, Champ, but come on. You know, but hey, I guess at the content house, they just had a little bit too much fun, where I was having chicken tenders and Harris was having his green tea or whatever with honey. But no, and, you know, you mentioned the different stations, and that's what made it so much more action packed and fun for Harris and I to call. Right. I'll speak on his behalf or just say, like, it was like, hey, this game's close. Hey, this game's close. Here's what's going on here. So that's what kind of kept us going on. Like, there's excitement everywhere you look.
No, I mean, and, you know, talk about like this past season in the 2K league. I mean, that definitely it was great to see you on screen and in person in Dallas. I thought you had a natural knack for being in front of the camera. Got a great voice. So I, you know, that was some of the things that I noticed when we talked, you know, before all of this. So just talk about your experience in season 4.
It was great because, like, when I became a fan of the league, I saw Dirk and Scott on the stage. I saw Jeff and Scott during the season 3 draft. But to actually kind of be there and be like, oh, snap, that's where they sit. Oh, that's where the players are going to be. Oh, man, we're going to have 2 teams or 4 teams battling it out. So again, the fan in me was coming out of like, man, I get to do this. You know what I mean? So like, for a personal level, it was like, I really get to wake up and call a video game or report sideline. And it was just a dream come true. I remember a friend of mine made fun of me when I was doing sideline reporting. They're like, dude, you sound like you're in a hurricane because you had just awkward, just yapping away behind. And I'm like, you can hear just awkward behind me. You know what I mean? So as a fan and as an individual, absolutely loved it. As you know, from the league perspective, I thought it was great. Just moving to the conferences and having that kind of go through. And of course, having the storyline of, you know, can Splash go ahead and win one finally in the league back to back in terms of the Wizards and all of that, I thought was just a great step forward for the league. And then of course, now you've got more changes coming, which I think is even going to take us to the next level and really bring in fans and community that don't know about the league yet.
No, I
in terms
agree.
of 3v3, of course.
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly. I mean, and like I said, I've been saying this for a long time within our community. If you're competitive, then you like new challenges. Like I mean, so I'm looking forward to it. I mean, and to see how it
Yeah.
is. But at the end of the day, I mean, I've never been a crybaby or a complainer or anything like that. Although I think maybe I need to do some crying
Yeah.
and some
Maybe.
complaining to get some stuff that go
Yeah.
my way here and there. But no, man, India, I'm proud of you. I think you
Thank you.
did a hell of a job. Hopefully get to see more of you going forward. I mean,
Absolutely.
what have you been doing since Vegas?
Yeah. Since Vegas, honestly, trying to just kind of decompress and get ready for the draft, right? So obviously Harris and Joe and Champ, they kind of do like the big boards and their mocks and things like that. For me, it's kind of keying in on, okay, cool. When I was doing the part of the draft last year, it was for the Hornets. Like, who do we want? What do we need? Things like that. Now it's kind of like, hey, who are all the teams and what do they need? Right? Like, you guys need a point guard. Certain teams need a center, things like that. So now it's kind of like picking out teams and what they need, especially the top 5 and things like that. So that's what I've been kind of focusing on, is what are teams' needs, what trades can potentially happen, who's going to drop where, so that if we do a stock watch segment, we can have a better idea of what's going on. So just preparing for the draft, and watching film back. This is definitely the most pro-am I've watched my whole life, no question about it. Year to date.
Now, was the stock watch I know that had to be your idea.
So it was, if I wasn't going to make it part of the broadcast, right? So if I wasn't going to be part of the broadcast, I wanted to go ahead and do that. But it was actually producer James, shout out to him, who sent an email and he said, hey man, you do this for a living. Let's incorporate that. And I was like, you just read my mind. Here are all the ideas. He had his, and then we just went with it. And then the production team just kind of gave me the flexibility to do whatever I wanted with it. Kind of like, hey, if you want to do stock up, stock down, stock watch, whatever you want to do, it's yours. And so that kind of really helped me make it my own, if you will. And I think it'll be exciting to kind of implement that for the draft, because that's clearly where you have a stock watch, right? You have your individuals that are going to slide and things like that. It'll be interesting to see how that impacts the content part of my segment.
No, well, shout out to the production team. Great
100%.
job utilizing naturally what you do in everyday life. But thanks for coming on and
Of course.
and doing this interview. Short notice, but definitely appreciate you, and look forward to seeing you at the draft and see what you cook up, and then better see you in season 5 as well.
Absolutely, man. Can't wait. And I look forward to seeing what you pull out with the Nets. You are king if you pull this one off, my friend. It's all you.
Appreciate you.
No problem.
As you can see, got a chance to interview multiple people to talk about the event. Very historic event. 50K was handed out. Just a great event. Looking forward to the next one. Remember, you can catch the OG 2 Cents podcast on Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and YouTube as well. So just make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, share it. We definitely appreciate it. Follow the OG 2 Cents podcast on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, the OG 2 Cents podcast. Follow myself, OG King CURT, on IG, Twitter, and Facebook. You can also go to www.ogkingcurt.com for everything OG King CURT and the OG 2 Cents podcast. Shout out to my team, Strider Visuals, Box Graphics, Cy Evermore, and Strider Visuals for making the OG 2 Cents podcast what it is today. Make sure that you check out EsportsXTRA on BNC every Saturday and Sunday, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We got the host, Larry Ridley, the crew, Antonio Williams, Derwin Royale, Jay Alford, Brandon Bell, Bordy Boer, myself, and producer extraordinaire Kevin Mamuzet. So make sure you check out Esports Extra every Saturday and Sunday, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Black News Channel. Make sure you also go to www.skulls.com. That's SKULLZ. Check out the OG 2 Cents podcast merch and the OG King Curt merch. We got hoodies, t-shirts, phone covers, everything, you name it. So make sure you check that out. I'm also newly brand ambassador for DrinkCTRL, cater to real life, some meal replacement supplement. Got all different flavors, tastes great, healthy for you. So make sure you check that out. That's at drinkcontrol.com. Use the discount code OG King Curt, all one word, and get a discount off for anything that's on the site. Make sure you catch next week's episode. And remember, if it makes sense, it's an OG 2 Cents. OG out.
Put this work in, fellas. And much, much, much love to the entire 2K community for always showing me love. Without y'all, we wouldn't be here. Yeah.